was it to practice there?
You're right, he wasn't, and he's dealing with some personal business, and we'll see.
Do you have any idea when he might be back?
It's kind of a day-to-day deal. We'll see.
Well, I mean, how much concern, worry is there when, I mean, this isn't just a good player. This is.
Oh yeah, no concern at all. I mean, I'm gonna talk about the guys that were out there working hard today. So whenever y'all ready.
We just talk about, well, not just today, but for these four days.
Yeah, 4 days, 2 in pads, 2 not. You know, I think been solid days. We're really pushing our guys hard. There's been a lot of good intensity at practice, a lot of good competition, and you know, it's been good. There's some guys that are really raising their level and showing us a lot, and there's some guys that still have ways to go. But overall, I've been pleased with our progress the first 4 days.
Just Jeremy, I mean, a lot of guys have talked about him from a leadership standpoint and how much he stepped up there. What have you seen out of him? You
know, I've always really believed in Jeremy and felt good about him, but he's even raised his level. He's been different. You know, you can tell there's a different sense of urgency, a different level of focus, and it's been great. He's very confident. He's really been encouraging all his teammates, and more than anything, he's been performing well, which is the #1 thing you can do to lead is go out there and show them how to do it. He's been doing that, and we've got a lot of guys following.
Rhett, can you talk about your backup quarterbacks, how they're doing so far?
Yeah, you know, Sean is Sean. He's you know, he's been a little bit up and down the first couple of days, but still, overall, he's exactly what we thought he was, and he does a lot of things well. He's a smart kid, throws the ball extremely well. After being here a year and going through a spring, you know, he's pretty comfortable with what we're doing. And so that's good. And then both Tyler Queen and Tucker Tuberville have been getting reps and they've been doing nice.
What do you expect out of Jason Smith now he's got some time under his belt there?
You know, we knew that once we decided to make the move with Jason that we felt pretty good about it because, you know, if you go way back to when him and Jeremy played together in the All-Star game, Alabama-Mississippi game, I think he was the MVP. I mean, he really did well, and they kind of had a connection. This spring, of course, he practiced a little bit at quarterback before he moved, so it was moving fast for him. And I think the summer really helped him. He's put on some good weight. He's very you can just tell he's more muscular. Looks more like a wideout now, but he's confident. Things are moving slower. You can just tell he's in a good place, and he's been one of those guys in the first 4 days that has been really impressive. I mean, if you were to ask me some guys that stand out, he's really stood out. So, and again, him and Jeremy, they seem to have a pretty good connection. So, you know, we're optimistic and excited about what he can do this year.
Do you feel like pace is still going to be kind of a trademark of this offense going forward? Because it kind of hadn't been the last 2 years.
We go faster than most. So, I mean, I think if you ask some of the people we play, we go pretty quick. So, you know, we're always going to play quick, play fast. Pace is a big part. Tempo is a big part of what we do. You know, so, yeah.
Do you gauge that by snaps per game?
Well, you used to go by snaps per game, but as I've said before, I mean, you almost kind of look at it more as a snaps per second of possession now because, you know, case in point, last year we get the ball on the 25 after they score against South Carolina, and Ricardo goes 75 yards in one play. I'm not upset that we only got one snap and went 75 yards. So there's an efficiency level to it. We don't worry much necessarily about do we get 100 plays, do we get a lot of efficient plays, and do we maximize those plays we got. But we still play at a fast tempo. We still force the defense to set and be ready to go at a fast pace, and there's different times we put the hammer down more than others. But yes, we're going to have pace and tempo. That's who we are.
Could you be faster this year because of the way the passing game will evolve and hitting stuff more in the middle of the field? Maybe?
Potentially. Potentially. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're us or some of these other teams that play tempo and no huddle. The speed of which you play at is dictated by how efficient you are. I mean, it's plain and simple. If you're having negative plays, or you're incomplete passes, or you're not gaining yards, it slows your tempo down. When you're moving the football, you know, it's well, and that's why I think at times you've seen it looks like we're going really fast because we're clicking and we're moving and we're rolling, and then there's times we're sputtering. The tempo doesn't look as good because we're not going anywhere. It's hard to get tempo. So, no question, potentially it could.
What have you seen so far from Darius Slayton and Ryan Davis?
You know, really good. Darius, you know, he had a good day today, and I think he's going to come on and he'll do fine. You know, he's just got to get comfortable with what we're doing. And, you know, from these young guys, we're putting everything in at the pace that Jeremy Johnson's ready for it. you know, and Sean White's ready for it, and Rock Thomas, and the guys that have been here. We're not putting it in at their pace. So in 4 days, there's been a lot go in all 4 days. So there's a lot for them to digest, but he's doing well. And then Ryan Davis, you know, being a guy who played quarterback, he's picking up mentally well, and you know, I think yesterday was probably his best day. You can tell after those first 2 days of feeling it out. It's just, you know, he's playing a new position, but I think they're going to do well and help us.
Rhett, he obviously gets a lot of attention when talking about the wide
Yep.
receivers, but Ricardo and Marcus Davis, just talking about the confidence level you guys have in that group behind him.
We have a lot of confidence this year because I feel like we got some really good options. You know, let's start with, aside from who you asked me about, our seniors. You got Melvin Ray. Melvin's probably as steady of a guy as we've had in the last 2 years. If you really think about it, he's not flashy, but every time we watch film, he's always doing right. I mean, he's doing exactly what he's coached to do. He's doing exactly how we ask him to do it. You know, he's making plays when they need to be made. Marcus Davis, same thing. I know I said seniors. He's a junior. It seems like he's been here forever, but all he ever does is when he's in, he makes big plays in big moments. His role, I would think, would elevate this year. And then you look at Ricardo. I mean, Ricardo has got loads of talent. He's made a lot of plays in the last 2 years. It's can he do it at a consistent rate? And we're asking more of him this year. So, again, he's been another guy that in these first 4 days, specifically after the first day, has really been practicing well. I just hope he stays where he's at.
Jordan Dimes coming off that injury. Do you think he can get more involved this year?
Possibly. He's gone 4 good days. He's doing well. He's getting a lot of reps. And the best thing for him is he stayed on the field. You know, and as you pointed out, he's had a lot of, you know, injury bugs hit him in the past. So the fact that he's been able to stay out there has been promising, and he's getting better.
You guys scrimmage a little bit tomorrow? What are you trying to do?
You know, I don't know, Coach. I mean, I know we're in full pads for the first time. I don't know how much scrimmage or live stuff we may or may not do. That's something that Coach will get with Will and I on probably later this evening.
Running backs, you seen any movement there at all?
Yeah, all moving up. You know, I mean, I'll tell you, I think Rock's one of those guys that stands out. You can tell he's confident. I mean, he's a different. Not that he was bad before. He's just a different kid right now. He's been physical, running the ball, physical and pass protection. He's kind of leading the guys by just not only vocally but just the way he goes through practice. It's not new to him. I think Peyton Barber is doing extremely well. Yesterday in our blitz period versus the defense, Peyton and Rock were as good as pass protection as we've had from any back since we've been here, and we've had some do some really good jobs. I mean, they were physical, they were stepping up and hitting the right guys and protecting the quarterback. That was the most promising thing because we know they can run the ball. Javon, he's just steady. He's keep coming. You know, you can tell he's getting more and more comfortable. And then I guess Kerryon Johnson as well. You know, he's 4 days in. I'll kind of reserve judgment on the new guys till we get in some pads and some scrimmage situations, but so far he's been everything we thought he'd be and more.
One guy you hadn't mentioned yet, at least when it comes to receiver, is Myron Burton. I mean, are you confident he's actually going to be able to carry over what he did in the spring game this fall? You know,
maybe. Myron's a guy we need. You know, again, we feel like we got a lot of options and quality depth. When you look at Ricardo and Tony Stevens and Melvin Ray and Duke and Jason Smith and Marcus Davis, there's some guys with more experience ahead of him. He did have a good spring game. You know, so obviously he's a guy that's in the mix and competing.
As far as HVAC goes, can you tell much until you get the pads on and start hitting?
Yeah. I mean, especially the last 2 days, you know, other than going live, once you put shoulder pads on now, you can tell a lot from those guys. And so I think Chandler and we call him Bubba, but Cameron Petway are doing really, really well. A couple other guys that have stood out as guys that could add some really quality depth for us. You know, Jalen Harris is new, but he's stuck his head in there, and we'll see how he goes as camp progresses, but he's at least, you know, he's not afraid to get in there and mix it up. And then Sweeney, one of our other 3 backs, is doing a nice job. But yeah, I mean, it'll work itself out a little more then, but we know what we got with Chandler and Bubba. They're both going to play.
What about tight end? Is that kind of the same deal?
Yeah, you know, tight end Jalen and Chris Lay have been working there, and you know, they've been doing some really good things. And again, 2 days in pads. You know, the first 2 days in helmets, we're just trying to get them to understand how to practice, and it's not as much about X's and O's at this point. It's all about, you know, learning how to do it our way and to play to our standard. The last 2 days has been good. We've gotten some good information because we've really been able to put on the pads, and I haven't watched film from tonight, obviously, but yeah, those guys are getting better.
Rhett Ward, Tripp on special teams. Do you think he could help out on offense?
Oh, there's no doubt. Stanton, I know I hadn't mentioned him yet, but Stanton's Stanton's doing some really good things, and the whole thing for him is just staying healthy and on the field. Sometimes those guys he's not a track guy, he's a football player, but he's so fast, he's kind of like that. He's so tightly wound that little things just pop up a lot. But so far for 4 days he's been healthy, and boy, he can fly. I mean, he can really run, and he's a smart kid, and he's doing a really good job.
In the spring, you and Damian, guys, everybody was lauding Duke's maturity and
Yep.
development and everything. And then there was the incident in May, which Gus and Damian addressed and tried to downplay, and now this. How frustrating have these last couple of months been after you say you see progress and then have these issues?
They haven't been frustrating at all. You know, we've got 105 kids on this team, and they all got different things going on in their lives. So we're here to coach them. We're also here to mentor them and help them through things. So it's just part of the process, and he's no different than guys we've coached in the past. You know, everybody's got a different story.
We'll do one more.
Brett, have you continued to see kind of the comfort level you want with Austin at center?
Yeah, and you know, really, to be honest with you, I've been really pleased with him and Xavier so far in fall camp, because I mean, probably if I think about the quarterback that's in there at times, I might know who's in there, but snaps have been good, the execution's been good. Probably yesterday was Xavier's best day since he's been here. So both those guys are doing really well. I think Austin is feeling more comfortable, and you know, that's good. I mean, having a spring and summer, he should be, but been really pleased, you know, with at least the progress of our line this point. And Austin's obviously the leader of that group right now.
Can I follow up on Austin real quick? Because I mean, he's a guy.
No, you can't.
Well, he's a guy
No, not until you bring the playbook back.
that unlike like a Reese. I mean,
Does he understand no? Go
Unlike
ahead.
a Reese, I mean, he's a guy that's maybe literally had only maybe 20 practices in his career at center. I mean, so does that kind of make you more effective? He's come this far. And
It's been impressive. He's done a really good job. Of course, Coach Grimes is the best, so he's really helped him along. I think a couple things. One, he's played in this league as a freshman, so that's a lot of experience. It doesn't matter which spot on the line you're playing. I think him getting to sit back, even though he couldn't play last year, he was here. So he was in all the meetings. He was able to watch Reese. He was able to watch what a pro looks like, how he prepares, how he goes about his business. And on top of that, he's bigger than Reese, so that's an advantage he has. He has a lot more size there. I mean, he's one of those guys big enough to play all 5 positions. So, you know, he's got a lot of those things going in his favor. But yeah, to your point, 20 practices or 19, you know, he's probably ahead of schedule, and that's good.
Yeah, Rick, could you talk about JB?
Cheaters.
You talk about JB
Yeah.
and coming back like he has from
Yeah, I mean, JB's a champion. He's a stud. He's stubborn as all get out now. I mean, you know, trying to get him to take it easy and make sure that we got him for the long haul has been tough. But it's been really good. It's been miraculous that, you know, he was able to catch it, and he's okay. And he hadn't missed a beat, man. And you know, this was going to be now my 4th year working with him. And I mean, I don't know what it'd be like if I didn't have him coaching that O-line. He's the best. He's a great friend. But you know, obviously we're all fortunate that, and we're thanking the good Lord that we caught it early. And he's good, and he's going to be with us, but he's stubborn. He wants to be out there with his guys, and you know, obviously we're glad he's out there.